If a woman is not competent, then what is brought home will be wasted. When people lived in caves and forests, was she not a part of the economic process? Main consciousness of the woman in the house, how to save everything and put it to best use? Who said she was not a part of the economic process? The woman who sits at home and nourishes and creates life and brings up that same idiot who's fighting right now was brought up by her, that is not powerful. This is a complete misconception of life. This is a topsy-turvy understanding of life. So I would say my mother was a superwoman. She did not earn a single rupee in her life, but she was a superwoman, she was the most respected in the family. Well, did she ever ask, what will I get? Never, but she is a superwoman.
And here I'm asking you a question about women who can be a part of economics of the world. Do you think that women can really be a part of inclusive economics, which many people or we would like to talk about? And then if we are, then we try to multitask. We want to take so many roles. And that obviously brings us stress also, because if we want to deliver, stress is, I think, a part of this. How do we manage everything? How do we balance everything? Can you give us some advice as women in business?
Why are you saying stress is a part of this? No, no. So
Uh,
essentially, you are saying some kind of suffering should be there if you have to be successful. No, that's not right, because a suffering mind is not a creative mind. I know most people say that from Europe, only in deep suffering you will be creative. No, I'm telling you, if you are blissed out all the time, you will be very, very creative, because unhindered exploration of your genius will happen when you are not an impediment to yourself. Suffering means you're putting up impediments to your own faculties, your own intelligence, your own genius. So do not ever understand suffering or stress or tension or whatever else as some kind of a creative process. Yes, it is true that right now if we smash your little finger, all right? I'm saying suffering, physical suffering. If you smash your little finger, you will run all over the place at full speed. If a dog is chasing you, you will run full speed. But is that the way to go? You know, in India, unfortunately, in some villages they used to have this, fortunately these things have stopped. They will tie some firecrackers to the tail of a donkey. And poor animal runs like crazy and everybody is happy how with a donkey is running faster than a horse. Is this the way to run, I'm asking? Is this a way for human being to explore our potential? We tie firecrackers to our tail and run because it's going to burst in our face otherwise? This is not the way to do things. So when we say women being part of the economic process, they've always been. It is just that today we have a twisted sense of economic process. Tell me, right from ancient times, I'm going back to the caveman's time, when people lived in caves and forests. Was she not a part of the economic process? Maybe she didn't go hunting, but when things were brought home, she sorted out things, she made sure everything is put to best use, she made sure everybody is nourished and everything is taken care of. Is this not economic process? If a woman is not competent, then what is brought home will be wasted. Is saving a part of your banking business, I'm asking? Without savings, is there banking? Without banking, is there an economic process on the planet? I'm asking. Can economic engine be driven without banking system? Can banking system operate without people saving? Wasn't it always the main consciousness of the woman in the house, how to save everything and put it to best use? Who said she was not a part of the economic process? Right now, unfortunately, we have a twisted sense of economy. We think only if you work on the factory floor, you're in the economic process. This is a very crude way of looking at life. I think I'm not commenting about this lady, but there was an iconic picture from the World War II time. If it was for the war effort, I very much appreciate it, but it was used by political campaigns and various other things, where an American lady is like this with her bicep showing and saying, "We can do it." You've seen that iconic picture. Because it was… commenting about this mainly because it was used in political campaigns, presidential campaigns used this. Well, I'm saying The significance of modern times is this, that our activity and the significance of our activity has moved from human muscle to human cerebral activity because of technology and machines and things like that. From brawn to brain, this is the most important thing in the uplifting of a woman, because now the man's muscle, which ran the world at one time, anything that was needed, you needed man's muscle. So naturally, he was the dominant force in a given society, or at least we see it from outside that way, but it was not so even in those societies. Women had equal roles to play. Because our movies, our stories, everything is projecting the man who goes and fights and kills somebody is the strong man. The woman who sits at home and nourishes and creates life and brings up children, that same idiot who's fighting right now was brought up by her, that is not powerful. This is a complete misconception of life. This is a topsy-turvy understanding of life. So having said that, it is very important, today's time is very, very important because the significance of man muscle has receded. If you have big muscles, I'm saying if I'm a man and I have big muscles, well, they may hire me as a security man for somebody. They won't make me the boss of the place. There was a time the man with big muscle was the boss of the community, whoever had the biggest muscle. But unfortunately, our movies, both in Hollywood and in India, are still projecting a man with big muscles who can beat up everybody is still the boss. This is an unfortunate caveman projection that is still going on. It's very important that muscles are not the important force. Now there are machines where if you put 1,000,000 men, they are not a match for a single machine. So we have created machines, technology has come, now it is a question of intelligence and competence. So I don't think, if you ask me, I know a lot of women may react to this, but I'm clearly saying this. Let me repeat this, I've said this before, but I'm clearly saying this. There is no need for women to fight for equality. All they have to do is, education is available, in most nations, at least by law, they're equal. Socially, they may not be yet, but by law, there is equality. Now all they have to do is, more and more girls should be educated, should become competent. Today it's happening in India big time. More girls are passing out of high school than boys. More girls are there in… I went to some technological institutes, technical institutes, there are more girls than boys, not literature or commerce or something. In engineering schools, there are more girls. More girls are earning PhDs than boys are earning. This is all. If you do this for another 15–20 years, it'll be a level playing field. Instead of just creating unnecessary rancor, unnecessary resistance where from the other side also ugly things will happen, this is all that has to be done, because empowerment is the way to go forward, not a fight, not showing your muscle, because even a man's muscle is meaningless, why is a woman's muscle so important now? Right now, you understand masculine as the ideal of success. If you want to succeed, you have to be like a man, you have to show your muscle. This must go, because this whole thing is coming from this is a consequence of, in one way, that economic engine drives everything in the world. When economy is the only thing that matters, everything is a marketplace. Everything is about… See, in the marketplace, if I give less and take more, I'm smart, isn't it? Hello? If I go to a marketplace and give more and take less, I'm stupid. But right now you must understand, in your homes, I'm sure it's true for you also as women, I've seen women working in so many ways, my own mother, my sisters, my aunts and many other women that I see, yeah, when they are at home, their whole thing is to give themselves totally, because they're doing something that they love to do. They're doing things for people that matter, that what I get is not important. That's what makes their life beautiful. This should not happen just at home, this should happen in the society, that everybody is trying to do their best to everybody else. This is the nature of the feminine. Right now you are saying, wherever you go, I must give less and take more, whether it's marketplace or marriage, the same thing is happening. And nobody is happy. Nobody is living well, nobody can relax their God. All the time everybody is guarded against each other because every place is a marketplace. Everywhere you go, you're seeing how you can profit. No, that's not how human beings can live well. Human beings can live well. This is right now, I constantly live among volunteers who are always trying to give their best in any given situation. People ask me, Sadhguru, of all the things that you do, what's the most important thing? I say, people around me, the sort of people that I've gathered around me who are willing to give their lives away without any expectation. This is what is most beautiful about my life, because that is what is most important in the world. Every place is a marketplace means we are always trying to take advantage of somebody, isn't it? When your mind has become a marketplace, there will be no consciousness, there will be no finer aspects of life, there will be no room for the feminine in the world. Masculine will rule. It's all about conquest, it's all about exploitation. It's not about, it's not about love, it's not about inclusiveness, it's not about involvement with life. Where there is no unbridled involvement with life, there is no life at all. Only with involvement you can know life. There is simply no other way.
I just would hand over to Noor. Before that, I want to further ask you one thing
You
more.
use the word superwoman, I would say my mother was a superwoman. She did not earn a single rupee in her life, but she was a superwoman, she was the most respected in the family. Well, did she ever ask, what will I get? Never, but she is a superwoman.